Hello, and welcome to DigitalEYE Media's interview with blogger, businessman, and entrepreneur Neil Patel, who is here to talk to us about social media, startups, and brand recognition. How are you doing today, Neil?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing really good. So, if anyone isn't familiar with what you do, could you please explain that to them?
Sure. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. Currently, I'm focusing all my efforts on a startup called Kissmetrics, which is an analytics company that specializes in conversion tracking, right? So we do a few things different. We set up very flexible funnels. With most solutions, you have to predefine your funnel so that way you can say, hey, this is how someone purchases. But the reality is there's multiple paths that people take to purchase. Two, we track people instead of visits and page views because we feel people are more important, right? Because a visitor can come to your site, click 20 times and skew your data. But those are the main differences between us and our competition, and there's a few other things like trying to focus on revenue, make it really easy so that instead of 20 different reports, all you see is one, and so forth and so on.
Nice. So, how did you get into being an entrepreneur and launching Kissmetrics?
Sure. So I've been an entrepreneur since I was probably in high school, 16. So almost 10 years now. And, just continued on the trajectory. First started a marketing company that specialized in consulting and the SEO front. Then started up a usability analytics company called DigitalEYE. And then decided to do something bigger, which was Kissmetrics. So it was just stepping stones.
So, if you could you explain a typical day in the life of an entrepreneur such as yourself?
Sure, and my days vary drastically, but right when I wake up, the first thing that I do is check emails, right? Literally in bed, before I brush, eat breakfast or anything, I'm checking emails because I always have a ton when I wake up.
I can attest to that.
And then getting through them, and after I get through a lot of them, then it's usually, getting ready, sometimes eating breakfast. And it's doing more emails, starting the workday, meetings and phone calls, and that's pretty much it, right? I do a lot of sales-related stuff, maybe some dinner meetings or lunch meetings, but there's not much difference. And then every month or so, a few times a month, my schedule will change up because I'll be speaking or stuff like that. But in general, it's usually just emails, meetings, and sales-related stuff.
I see. So you've been an entrepreneur for quite a while. If you could say, what are some of the coolest things about being an entrepreneur?
The coolest thing is that you have the potential to make a ton of money, right? It's not, a lot of people think it's that you can be your own boss and set your own hours, but that's not really true. Your boss is every one of your customers, so you technically have hundreds of them, not thousands. But the coolest part is really that you have the potential to make a lot of money. With a 9-to-5 job, you're really limited unless you got lucky and you started at Facebook early and you're going to make a ton of money on the stock, right? But my 2 cents is you have a lot bigger opportunities. You get to meet a lot of cool and interesting people. And other than that, you get to really do what you love, right? There's no one telling you have to do X, Y, and Z job tasks. Yeah, sometimes you have to do stuff you don't like, but you can really focus on creating a business that you're really passionate about.
So you're sort of a freelancer in a way in that you don't have a set schedule, but you're still dictated by your client.
Kind of. You may not have a set schedule, but you end up working a lot more hours.
If someone were starting their own company today, what advice would you give them? Say they're starting it out of their garage and they don't have a huge budget and they want to make a huge impact with their great idea.
Find a really good team, right? Surround yourself with other entrepreneurs and people who are good at the things that you are weak at, and they can complement you really well. And if, for example, I'm a business guy, I'm really bad at development, right? So to complement myself, I have to make sure I'm surrounded by a really awesome rockstar developer, maybe a development team or a design team or whatever it may be. But the thing that you have to really end up doing is just making sure that you can get good people on board who are passionate about the business. They're there for the long haul, and they're willing to work for free or equity or really low wages, right? So
we see all these new companies starting up on the web offering these cool web services. They're small teams, small companies just start out of a garage. What do you think about the state of the web today?
It's changing, right? And it's been like this for the past few years as I see it. Things aren't as expensive as they were in 1994, right? when there was the internet and people were streaming and they thought that was the coolest thing ever, right? But yeah, it's just getting more advanced, just like anything else, and things are becoming a lot cheaper to do on the internet. So I don't think people need millions of dollars or even hundreds and thousands to start a business. I started my first business with using my own money, right? I think it's a lot easier for people to do that now.
We're seeing these small companies just start up. You're saying you can do it on a limited budget. You surround yourself with a great team. Now, how would you go about promoting yourself? What advice would you give someone who just started their own business and they want to get themselves out there onto the web?
Sure. Start a blog. Leverage the social web, right? It's a good way to get your personal brand out there as well as the business brand out there. And when you're doing so, just make sure you have really good content. I know that sounds stupid and obvious, but a lot of people don't write really detailed content. I'm not saying like write a blog post that's taking a few hours. I'm saying write a blog post that could take you 6, 7, 8, 10 hours to write.
So that kind of goes against the ideal we've seen, just blogs, just pumping out content on a short time span and then just pushing it out there.
Yeah, and for news-related blogs, that works great, but for informational-related blogs, that does not work out that well.
So how important would you say is blogging for creating brand recognition on a scale of, say, 1 to 10?
I think it would be 9 or 10.
If a company wanted to get into blogging, it's pretty much a necessity nowadays to promote themselves, and they didn't know where to start. Should they hire a team? Should they hire just one blogger? Or how would you go about doing that?
Well, if I was a business, the first thing I would try to do is learn it myself, because no one's going to be passionate about your company like you are, and just try it out. I don't think you have to hire a team or anything like that, but if you are trying to hire someone, I'll just go to like the pro blogger job board and post some ads looking for bloggers to help out, and you can probably find a ton of people that are affordable to help you with your blogging.
And to just tie things up, how did you get into blogging?
My first blog was pronetadvertising.com. Don't have it anymore, don't blog there. But I created that blog so I can get customers for the internet marketing agency I co-founded. And then with my current blog, ClickSprout, the reason I started blogging there is I just wanted to give back when it came to entrepreneurship and other related things.
Well, it's been great talking to you today, Neil. If any of our readers wanted to find you online, where might they find you?
Blog, so clicksprout.com.
And thank you for the interview, Neil.
Yeah, thanks for having me.